Hey guys,
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
we're back. Thought I would play you another Ren. This is my favorite thing that he's done, so that's partially why. And I also think it's an interesting pairing with the other Ren that we looked at. Again, if this one is a video, so if you notice that it's kind of cut off, click the little thing on the video, and it'll bump you back. Bump it up to a full size thing if it needs to
so
be.
where's the video? Where's the video going to show?
It'll pop up right on whatever you're looking at right now. So, yeah, tell me if if you don't see it, and then we'll fix it. So here we go.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately, and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate. This time is different, man, trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one, so you see. You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with his subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking god complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually hear you say it instead of downplay it. Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren.
Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren.
I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside.
Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mephistopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips. So you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal, feeble and normal. You wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, friend.
Hi Ren, I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs. That I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that make to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side. When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas, that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare. But there were victims, and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax, and I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
That was awesome.
I'd seen that before. Man, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What a presence. That back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no confusion about who was talking when, where they were coming from.
Yep. And the guitar matched perfectly each voice, the change ups.
I love the I love the tactics too that each one takes to try to convince the other one, that they're in control, that they've got it right. It's just a tug of war back and forth. One person tries one thing and then the other tries another and they argue back and forth. It was it it felt like what it was, the the mental gymnastics that we do to try to navigate life.
Made me think of Screw Tape. This is personified voices and those tactics, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same response.
The way he started, and that what do you call that? That beautiful like otherworldly sound, just incredible.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal musician. His lyrics are just remarkable.
Yeah, I just sent you guys the lyrics if you want to look at them
They've
while we're
got
chatting.
it's got to be so long.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, that his guitar playing is phenomenal. It sets the tone, and it has it goes. He'll hit these notes that's just like resonate with everything that he's talking about. Um, yeah,
Well, he's like he's acting, right? Like what an like how do to be able to play like that and then to be able to take on these characters and the entire aspect of these characters in such a convincing way. And it first sounds like he's completely insane and it's all about mental illness, and then it becomes this conversation about just trying to make stuff, right? And the head games that go with that.
I think one of the things I liked most was at the beginning when he says, where have you been? And the response is, I've been getting better and I just haven't really needed you. And there's this idea of they need the other, like the two halves are in constant combat, but just like the brighter light makes the darker shadow, they're they're connected. It's not, you can't have one without the other. Um, and and there's sort of an inevitability of this inner uh fighting between, you know, the the angel on one shoulder and the demon on the other, or whatever it is that's kind of going on there. I'd love to know more about like the cross earring and the hoop earring that, or like one on either side, if it's, if there's anything in that, if something is supposed to be, like if the hoop is this thing that never ends, you can't escape, you know, uh, if there's any kind of symbolism there, or if it just happened to be what he likes to wear. I have
Well,
I
there
have a
will be
hard time imagining.
yeah, there will be comments that I'm sure some people will make that will let us know.
Yeah,
Because yeah, he's so thoughtful with everything he does.
Yeah.
I would
But
be
I
surprised.
don't. So towards the end, when he broke the fourth wall and he just talked to the camera, I mean, super powerful. And then, this dance he talks about, right? It's not this heroic struggle between us good and that evil, or it's a dance. But I still, so there's a duality there. But I don't. When I was watching that interplay between his demonic voices and his earnest creative self trying to break through, I felt like the lie was that you can't have one without the other.
mm,
I felt like that was the strategy of the mental illness, to say you can't. Now there's some truth, like all lies. There's some truth there, right? But that your joy and your creativity is born out of your fucked upness, and I'm here to stay, and you can't get rid of me unless you get rid of you.
Yeah,
And
you're
and
nothing
and
without me.
you're nothing
yeah,
without me. It felt like that was all part of the lie. Right now, when he talked about it later about a dance, that was just incredibly insightful. And so the other lie is this heroic battle that one wages against the darkness as if you're going to win. That's the other lie. But this dance, that's something different. And talk about hope at the end of it, man, unbelievable.
I love the idea that I love that imagery where he says his stuckness was stopping him from being able to dance. He had to get unstuck to be loose enough in order to dance. That there's a letting go element of um of control, or what you perceive to be the thing that's going to fix it all. Um, uh, the control itself is somehow kind of elusive. Um, I don't know. There's a beautiful mystery in that, and I think that it ties in well, Steve, with your two lies that paradoxically exist at the same time.
Well, yeah, and I think that paradigm is one that we all live in and we were raised in, right? The good against evil, the control against chaos, and right, and
Yeah,
and that's not going to get us where we need to go, right? We've sort of learned, and yet we just keep going back to it. There's a security in that kind of control, and I think that kind of goes back maybe to the other song we were listening to, that closing refrain about the self-made Armageddon. You know, like somehow it's like making it about us and this heroic stand, and it's like there are other options, right? There's other options than going down with the ship just because you're too damn proud to not go down with the ship. Because it was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance, like a dance. Like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax, and I learned to soften, and the dance got easier. I mean, I can't help but think of these culture wars that we're living in right now, in this huge push against the way the world is changing and this fear that it's all going to hell in a handbasket. And it's just becoming intolerable. Like you're never going to get back to to the myth of what you thought things were. That's never going to happen. And the carnage that you're going to, that ensues from that effort, and the inability to just go with it and see where, to see where this thing takes us. I don't understand it, but it's the more I work with young people, the less I need to know. It's kind of an incredible ride.
Yeah. I love that between these two, you really get this strong sense that he's acutely aware of the physical, mental, and spiritual realms of his pain and life experience, and they're all intertwined, and they can't be pulled apart, and they shouldn't be pulled apart. That there's something wholly, with a W, wholly, connected about all of these things, and there isn't that sort of dualistic, like body and spirit kind of a difference, um, or separating out, circumstance from experience, or trying to reason with or understand it as a way that life teaches us things. It's all intertwined, and that sort of beautiful intertwining to me is just captivating. That we don't have to push these things into different quadrants of our lives. That he fully embraces all of it as part and parcel of the experience of living on this earth. Pretty cool.
And he brings some, those closing lines I thought was really, really powerful. And I think speaks to what you're talking about, Matt. He says, it is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And we must not forget that we are human beings.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of what's that passage that says that the angels look on and wonder, right? Like they cannot understand this fascination that God has with human beings. These naked, I think the term forked. They're right. They're just these pathetic, but there's something really special about that, right?
Yeah. And our incarnate nature separates us from these beings that he discusses.
Yeah.
Angels, demons, and gods. It's that incarnate nature that makes us different, because we tap into the spiritual aspect makes us the same, but the physical aspects makes us different, and our mind has to try to navigate that, which is no wonder that you know, that makes life so hard mentally.
And it's
We're
the
torn
last
we're torn
role.
between these two worlds.
Yeah, and it's the last role we want to embrace, right? To just be human. Like we want to be angels or gods or demons. We'll take that,
Or
right?
maybe demons, right? Yeah.
Right, we'll take it, right? Anything,
Yeah,
but human. And judging
but
from his
mere
last
humans.
song, judging from his last lyrics, you can understand why. Maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful line in the Narnian Chronicles. I think it's in Prince Caspian, and it's something. Anything that looks human but ain't, be wary. It's like you've got all these different foes that are going on here, but the ones that are really the ones you want to worry about are the ones that come and they look like they're humans, but they're really witches or demons. Or it's like,
Hmm.
Brian, I think Steve just jumped into your other podcast on AI.
I was just gonna say that sounds like
Oh,
AI to me.
yeah, yeah. If it,
Hmm. That'll all be fine.
yeah, it's going to work itself out.
Sure, sure. Well,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah,
Uh,
one of my favorite lines in there was I realized there were no real winners and no real losers, just victims and students.
I love
And
the
student,
student aspect of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So did you
We
take that
if
as
we're only
dark?
victims, then we don't get to be students.
Right.
Okay. That student thing hit me as dark first, and then the follow up, like, oh, maybe not so dark, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, because there's students on both sides.
yeah. It's that I took it as like the idea of lifelong learning, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
we, we can play the victim and only be that and only have that experience, or we can be the victim and the student and have a fuller experience you of learning from our pain.
Yeah, and learn the game, right, or
Yeah,
learn the dance
yeah,
to
yeah,
to work his metaphor.
yeah, yeah. So good,
Yeah. Yeah.
so good.
It's such a powerful thing. Like in psychological warfare that he's talking about too, of the swinging pendulum, because it's so easy to, like, if you're really in the dark, it's so easy to think that's just the way it's going to be forever. Um, but if you can kind of get into that, okay, it's always swung back and forth. Um, yeah, there's more hope in that.
Well, in that, what did he say? Like the brighter the light, the darker the shadow it casts, and right. So if you're in that kind of struggle where it's going to be one or the other, you can't. Man, you want to hold on to that light with a death grip, and that just crashes even harder. The way he personified, like, so there was the exchange between him and his mental illness, and then it looked like the way the lighting played, and I'd like to go back and really look at how the lighting works in that one, because I think
Yeah,
that was no
cloudy.
accident. There was a shadow on either side, and I have a feeling that part of what was so convincing when he turned his head, which is a great storytelling trope, right? To be this character and now I'm that character. But I have a feeling that there was lighting there that helped reinforce that. And then when he just kind of went down into himself and you realized that there wasn't two anymore, it was just one guy playing the guitar. And I wasn't sure where that was going to go, and I felt like, oh, like like the resistance was gone, and then he's his mental illness personified as Satan himself, and he quotes. I mean, it's just an incredible monologue, right? Um, and then you feel like that's going to be the final word. I'm trying to find it in its lyrics, but
Yeah,
then it turns.
it's about halfway down. It says news flash, and then he goes into it.
Newsflash: I was created the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am snake and Eden. I am the reason for treating, beheading all kings. I am sin with no rhyme or reason. I mean, right? This is like Old Testament, crazy, right? And then it flips, and he's like, I was made to be tested and twisted. I was born to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand and all. So he's like got this biblical reference to both sides, and
Yeah.
and that he owns that title of hope, right?
Yeah. That section reminded me of Christ meeting Satan and being tempted in the desert, in the wilderness, because of that, that whole idea that, uh, you know, God knows all of our experiences because God has experienced all these things too. And we think, okay, well, but God, would, would Jesus' temptation puts us into a position where this sort of face to face with the devil kind of experience that feels utterly human, um, and maybe only human in experience, has that sort of. I love how he turns it when he says, "I was made to be tested and twisted." This is actually part of the. This is part of the life experience. That it's not unique to anybody, and maybe we were even built to try to see how we would weather the storm. You know, how we would put up with our handle of, these temptations as they were, you know, the inner struggle. Uh, I don't know. That was kind of cool to me. The idea that I was made um, to suffer a little bit. That is part of the plan, or at least it's part of life. It's the inevitable part of life.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible ownership, right? Like you can't use this against me. It's what I was built for, right? Um, it yeah.
Yeah. When he starts, when he goes into that too, his voice changed again, but it wasn't like either of the other two.
That was the ultimate act of defiance, right? And that's why that duality doesn't work, right? Like he's not stuck in the middle wondering how this is going to end, right? He has that confidence in that delivery, in that part of his monologue with that character, that hope is unshaken. And I think it was really helpful though that he didn't end it there, right? Because I feel like we're so prone to like want that happy ending and then want to rush out the door and go do battle, right? And then he's like, wait a minute, let me tell you a story, right? Because there's cockiness and arrogance and there's hope. And these things are different, you know? And humility. Like hope and humility seem to go hand in hand.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep. Awesome. Well, there's some more Ren.
He's
Yeah,
good, dude.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the day. I'm exhausted.
I know. You
This is
listen and you
work.
watch his stuff and you just keep thinking about it, and he's digging deep. Yep. Yeah.
Love it.
Cool. All right.
Well, hey, thanks,
Well,
dude.
Yep. You bet.
thanks. This was food for the soul, man. Really good.
All right. I'll see you guys next time.
Okay.